There exists a precarious balance, one tethered to power, will, and legacy. While the Olympian gods ruled with order and vanity, a new force emerged in the mortal world, the mutant Cain Marco, better known as the Juggernaut. Empowered by the crimson gem of Cyttorak, Juggernaut transcended mortal limits, becoming a living, unstoppable force. His path was one of destruction, his ambition fueled by an insatiable hunger to test his strength against the most legendary beings. Unbeknownst to him, the threads of fate had aligned his path with one of the greatest champions of Greek mythology. Hercules, son of Zeus. Known as the Prince of Power, Hercules was no stranger to conflict. He had toppled titans, slain beasts, and completed labors that cemented his name in legend. But in recent times, Hercules had grown restless. His exploits, though glorious, felt distant, as though his battles were echoes of an era long past. He yearned for a challenge, something that would reignite the fire in his immortal heart. The gods of Olympus, ever watchful, saw Juggernaut's unchecked rampage as a threat. Cyttorak's champion had laid waste to cities, leveling mortal constructs with impunity. His strength defied physics, his durability unchallenged by any weapon, forged by mortals. Zeus convened a council of the gods, debating how best to confront this mortal who had become a force of nature. Some suggested unleashing divine wrath upon him, but Athena, goddess of wisdom, proposed a different approach. The Juggernaut is not a foe for lightning or cunning, she advised. He is a creature of raw power, and only power can answer him. Hercules must face him. Though reluctant to place his son in danger, Zeus ultimately agreed. Summoning Hercules to Olympus, he delivered the decree. My son, the mortal world faces a peril beyond its comprehension. The Juggernaut is a man no longer. He is a weapon, an engine of destruction. It falls to you to stop him. Hercules, ever eager for glory, smirked. A mortal imbued with power? Surely, father, this Juggernaut is no match for the might of Hercules. But Athena interjected with a warning. Do not underestimate him, Hercules. The power of Cyttorak has rendered him unstoppable. Strength alone will not prevail. You must employ cunning and resolve. With the blessing of the gods, Hercules descended to earth, seeking the Juggernaut. His journey led him to the desolate ruins of a city once thriving. Smoke curled into the sky, and the cries of survivors echoed in the distance. Standing amidst the rubble was the Juggernaut, his colossal frame towering over the remnants of mortal achievement. His laughter was deep and menacing, his every step leaving cracks in the earth. You must be the famous Hercules, Juggernaut bellowed, his voice a blend of amusement and challenge. I've heard stories of your strength. Tell me, do the legends exaggerate, or will you be another monument crushed under my heel? Hercules approached with calm confidence, his lion-skin cloak billowing in the wind. You stand before Hercules, son of Zeus, slayer of beasts, breaker of chains. Your destruction ends here, Juggernaut. The two titans faced off, their sheer presence creating a ripple of tension. Mortals fled the scene, their instincts urging them to distance themselves from the inevitable clash. Juggernaut, unfazed, took a step closer. I'm not like your mythical creatures or your gods, Hercules. I'm power incarnate. Once I start moving, nothing can stop me. Do you think you have what it takes? Hercules grinned, cracking his knuckles. You speak much, but I will see if your strength measures up to your words. But before the first blow could be struck, something extraordinary occurred. The skies above darkened, and the voice of Cyttorak echoed, addressing both warriors. Juggernaut, my champion, you stand before one who seeks to challenge my might. Should you defeat him, you shall ascend to even greater power. But beware, Hercules is no ordinary foe. If he bests you, my blessing shall waver. The Juggernaut roared in defiance. Then let it be decided. I'll crush him, Cyttorak. Your power will remain unmatched. Hercules, hearing Cyttorak's words, realized the stakes were higher than anticipated. This was no ordinary battle. It was a cosmic game, with the fate of Cyttorak's power hanging in the balance. The ground trembled as the two warriors closed the distance between them. Each step they took was a testament to the raw power they possessed. Hercules clenched his fists, channeling the strength of his divine heritage, while Juggernaut's body glowed faintly with the crimson energy of Cyttorak. This was not just a battle of strength, but a collision of ideologies. Hercules, the champion of order, carried the hopes of gods and mortals alike. Juggernaut, the avatar of destruction, sought to prove the supremacy of Cyttorak's might. The world seemed to pause as Hercules and Juggernaut charged toward one another, the sheer weight of their steps shaking the earth. When their fists finally collided, the resulting shockwave rippled outward, shattering nearby ruins and sending debris flying. The air crackled with power as both titans reeled from the impact, each testing the other's strength in the most primal way. Juggernaut smirked, his eyes glowing faintly with the crimson energy of Cyttorak. "You pack a punch, Olympian, but it'll take more than that to stop me." Without hesitation, he lunged forward, his massive fist arcing toward Hercules like a wrecking ball. Hercules sidestepped with uncanny speed, using the momentum of Juggernaut's swing against him. Grabbing his arm, the demigod spun Juggernaut around and hurled him into a nearby building, which collapsed under the weight of the crimson Juggernaut. The earth groaned under their conflict as Juggernaut rose from the rubble, unfazed. "Impressive," Juggernaut growled, brushing dust from his armor. "But all you've done is make me angrier." He charged at Hercules with unstoppable force, the ground splitting beneath him as he moved. Hercules braced himself, digging his feet into the ground as Juggernaut collided with him. The impact sent a shockwave that could be felt for miles, and for a moment it seemed as though even Hercules might buckle under the raw force. But the son of Zeus held firm, gripping Juggernaut's shoulders and pushing back with all his might. "Your strength is immense," Hercules admitted through gritted teeth, "but strength alone is not enough to best a son of Olympus." With a roar, Hercules summoned his full divine power and lifted Juggernaut off the ground. The unstoppable avatar of Cyttorak flailed in Hercules' grasp, but the Olympian spun and slammed him into the earth with a force that created a massive crater. Dust and debris filled the air as Hercules stood over his opponent, his chest heaving with exertion. But Juggernaut was far from defeated. From within the crater, a crimson glow grew brighter, and Juggernaut rose once more, seemingly unscathed. "You don't get it, do you?" he snarled. "I'm unstoppable. No one can stand in my way." He lunged at Hercules again, this time landing a devastating punch to the demigod's torso. The impact sent Hercules flying, his body crashing through several buildings before skidding to a halt. For a moment, all was still, and Juggernaut stood tall, his laughter echoing through the ruins. But as the dust settled, Hercules emerged from the rubble, his lion-skin cloak torn, but his resolve unbroken. "You are a formidable foe, Juggernaut," he said, wiping blood from his lip. "But your arrogance blinds you to a simple truth. Even the unstoppable can be outmatched." With newfound determination, Hercules charged toward Juggernaut, his movements a blur of speed and power. Juggernaut swung wildly, but Hercules dodged each attack with precision, landing blow after blow to Juggernaut's armor. The strikes began to take their toll, and for the first time, Juggernaut staggered. Enraged, Juggernaut unleashed a massive shockwave of crimson energy, forcing Hercules to retreat. "You think you can wear me down?" Juggernaut roared. "I'll bury you beneath this city." Summoning all of Cyttorak's power, Juggernaut charged forward, his speed and strength magnified. But Hercules, ever the tactician, waited until the last moment before sidestepping and grabbing Juggernaut by the back of his helmet. Using Juggernaut's momentum against him, Hercules swung the unstoppable force into the ground with such force that the crater deepened and cracks spread for miles. Before Juggernaut could recover, Hercules leapt into the air and delivered a devastating punch to Juggernaut's chest, driving him deeper into the earth. The crimson glow around Juggernaut flickered, and for the first time, he groaned in pain. "You may be unstoppable," Hercules said, standing over the fallen Juggernaut. "But even the strongest of us have limits, and yours end here." Summoning the full might of his divine heritage, Hercules raised his fists and struck the ground, creating a shockwave that shattered the crimson gem embedded in Juggernaut's armor. The energy of Cyttorak dissipated, and Juggernaut's massive frame began to shrink, his unstoppable power fading. Defeated and powerless, Cain Marco looked up at Hercules with a mixture of rage and disbelief. You actually stopped me." Hercules offered a hand to his fallen foe, his expression one of respect. "Power alone does not make one invincible, Juggernaut. Perhaps now you will understand that." As the sun rose over the battlefield, the mortals who had fled began to return, their eyes wide with awe at the sight of the victorious Hercules. Though the battle had left the city in ruins, the people's faith in heroes was restored.